Hello. Welcome to Leap Taken. This is Mika, and here at Leap Taken, I talk about all things witchy, craft related, law of attraction, manifesting, esoteric, and everything else in between. And this is my last witchy review for 2021. I'm trying to get these years together. Stay with me, y'all. I know I'm going to struggle with saying 2022. That's too many. I don't know, it doesn't come off the tongue naturally, 2022. But anyway, we're still in 2021. And yeah, I'm going to get into it. I'm going to jump right into it. So these are the standout books and tarot cards. Now, I did other witchy reviews, which involve like TV shows and things like that. So honorable mention, I'm just going to say, is Ragnarok. It is on Netflix. If you haven't gotten into that, get into it. I love that show. Oh my God, I love it. It's definitely a dubbed over show, series. And there's I think there's 2 seasons now, 2 or 3 seasons of it so far. It's a really good show. They're short seasons. And it's based on Thor and Nordic gods and goddesses and all that sort of stuff, Nordic mythology. So yeah, get into it. Odin and all that sort of stuff. So get into that one. Honorable mention, and that was the other one. I can't wait to review The Wheel of Time. That's on Amazon Prime. That's next. Can't wait for that, but that's 2022's business. Let's get into this one. So honorable mention, Ragnarok, standout series. So I'm trying to decide which direction I'm going to go in with all the different things I have. Like, where do I want to start? All right, because I got piles of stuff here that I'm going to re-review. Let's get into this. I've talked about this throughout 2021 multiple times. This is Magical Mediumship by Daniel Dion. This to me is a must-have. I still love this book. I still reference it. I still tell people when you're dealing with death, if you're trying to get into death magic, if you're trying to just have a better understanding of spirits, speaking with the unknown, communicating with the unknown, I personally think this is like the most definitive guide on how to do that. In a way, it makes sense. There is a lot of information. This is a pretty, it's not a big book, but it's like well over 200 pages. But she gets into so many different elements. And if you struggle with the piece about witchcraft, because life in general, death is part of it, right? If you want to get more into that, but you have some stopgaps and you don't really even know where it's from, you just do. Some of us have some really dysfunctional ideas around death to the point that, look at our society. We got people out here saying things like 30 is old. Well, then I'm ancient. And here's my alternative. So I'm in my late 40s. What am I supposed to do? Die? Like, that's the alternative. Like, so if I'm not living, I'm dying. What do these people want you to do? Because you have some weird dysfunctional ideas about death. If you age, here's the thing, you're lucky if you get to age. If you don't, the alternative is death. So I embrace aging because it means I'm still alive. Along with that, by the way, fun fact, when you get into this age range, a couple things you have to know. I've never been someone who has looked younger than my age. I've always looked like my age. If I discovered that early on in life. People would say, immediately looking at me, they would know what my age is. When I was younger, I actually looked older than what I was. So I take after, the B. Arthurs of the world, the Angela Lansburys of the world, where those women, those actresses, they played like mothers, and they were like 19, 20, 24. They played mothers to other 20-year-olds because they just had a face. Beautiful women, especially in their prime, but they just looked older. That is I. and I'm okay with that. I love the way I look, so I'm okay with that for sure. But I just feel like people do this thing where they say, 50 where? And it's like, well, what's wrong if you did look 50? Would that be such a bad thing? I don't know. That's the kind of stuff that just screams to me, you got a problem with death. Because the reason they're so afraid of aging is because you're getting closer to death. So if you're struggling with that, if you have your own inner, for lack of better words, demons around death, get into it. Get into this book. I can't express this enough. Actually, this is a perfect time around this time of year to kind of think about this, because death is all around you. Evidence of death, depending on where you live. Seasonally speaking, nature speaking, it's the dead time. So yeah, just saying. I'm just saying. All right. So the next thing I want to get into, and I'm not going in a specific order. Like some stuff I just did earlier in the year. That was one I did much earlier in 2021. The other one are this tarot deck, tarot. I hear people say tarot. I feel like it's so pretentious. I say tarot. I used to say tarot because I didn't know any better when I was early on. I would still say it that way because that feels right to me, but tarot deck. Anyway, the Hoodoo Tarot. Let's get into this. I'm full disclosure. I made a decision to dedicate these cards for the purposes of when I commune with my ancestors. And I have struggled using these cards. I honestly feel like most of the messages are very negative or have a very negative undertone. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. It's not all the cards, because if you have this deck, you know it's not like that with all of them. But sometimes it just feels so heavy. And I like to believe that when I work with my ancestors, that, you know, whatever pain and hurt and trauma in their, you know, their waking lives has been processed for them to be on the level of being an ancestor. I'd like to believe that's how the ancestral realm works. So using this type of tool to communicate with them makes me feel like, I don't know, I'm invoking or something, like negativity. I don't know. It's weird. I don't know how to explain it, but it just feels like I'm kind of, I don't know, I'm bringing in energy that isn't necessary to work with them, if that makes any sense. I'm trying to find something here to kind of point to what I was talking about. Like the few cards that I did, not few readings I've done. I'm like, that's harsh. Like, I don't normally have this type of dialogue, or the messages don't come through this way when I work with my ancestors. So it's definitely the meaning of the cards that kind of send me. So I don't dislike them. I like what these cards stand for. So they're still a standout to me. I just don't think I'll be able to continue to use them with my ancestors. I think I'll just use these for other purposes, but not for that purpose. Maybe if it's a situation where there's just so much going on anyway, like if I was trying to do a reading to understand an already kind of messed up negative situation, you know, I would use these cards because it would give me a little bit more clarity. So that's a standout. I still like those cards. I still recommend them. I still get excited with the idea, but I just feel like sometimes that message is a little rough. It's a little rough. Unnecessarily rough. Chick-fil-A. Pussy Prayers. Another standout. This book is great. Now, here's the thing. It was a lot of stuff that I already kind of subscribed to, thought processes and all that sort of stuff. So it was more just me reading something that just agrees with how I already see things anyway, for the most part. However, I think this is great for working on, it says sacred and sensual rituals for wild women of color. If you want to get into some true goddess-like self-care, things of that nature, connect with the sexual side, your divine feminine, which I think is innate in us. However, I also think you can sort of bring about more of that energy to the surface with things like this, reading things like this, and maybe doing some of the rituals. So this is still a standout. I would still tell someone if they, needed this type of work, I would still recommend that. I would still take from this if I was guiding you to help you out certain things in here to kind of help, especially with sexual expression, which can be wonderful in witchcraft, which could be, honestly, it could be most of your witchcraft. You could do most of your spells just with sex magic, to be honest. because that type of magic is so powerful. Yeah, I definitely would. But in order for you to do that, some people still need to get in touch with that part of themselves, right? You still need to release any inhibitions you have, trauma, all that sort of stuff. And I think this book is great for dealing with that. So still a standout for 2021. Yes, Pussy Prayers. I got this off of Amazon by Black Girl Bliss. Then the next one was The Green Witchcraft Grimoire. You can see it's well loved. I have been using this book. I referred to it. I'm a cottage witch, of course I am. That's why this is a standout, because it's actually something that I would look at and I would, kind of mock up the things that I find in here to fit my person, how I want to do it. Like I would look at a spell in a book and I would say, okay, let's look at the garden good luck spell, for instance. So I look at stuff like this. Tools you need: a garden stepping stone, herbs. They tell you the type of herbs: calamus, star anise, and 1 whole nutmeg. The stone is pyrite. Candle, 1 votive, white votive, matches or lighter. I get the overall idea of the spell. And I just basically, I said, well, I have a stepping stone. That might have been what even started me off on thinking about this. I'm looking at this book. But I have star anise, but I don't have a whole nutmeg. I got pumpkin pie spice though, so I would use that. Most likely I probably have pyrite, but if I didn't, I would find something as close to neutral or something like that. I don't know, I would use like a quartz or something, quartz crystal. I would use the 1 white candle. If it wasn't votive, I would use a tea light. Yeah, that's it. And it just tells you what to do and what to say. It says, by the vision of this flame I see, good luck flows to me through the energy, and its tone, good luck, is set in stone. Like I might keep something like that, but I would take all this, rewrite it, put it in my Book of Shadows or Grimoire. But this kind of gives me a stepping point. But sometimes when I can't think like totally from scratch what to do, I'll look here. Or if there's something I kind of want to, like Beltane lusty chocolate pudding. And this is a great idea. I could work with that, a recipe for that. Excuse me, I would make substitutions because I don't drink milk. I would use oat milk. And yeah, I don't love cashew, so I probably would skip that. But maybe just use the walnuts, that kind of stuff. So anyway, definitely something me as a cottage witch. If you're a kitchen witch, cottage witch, green witch, hedge witch, you probably want this book, or you probably already have this book. But this is one of those books that stood out to me. 2021 is standout for sure. Green Witchcraft Grimoire. Love this. And you can write, you can write in any book you want if you own them, but they give you a space to write, actually. So that's what's cool about this. And then the next, speaking of cards that kind of tell on you, I'm going to skip around. This one is not too far. I did a review on this, Oracle of the Mermaids. This is not a new deck. These have been around for a minute. It was very new to me. I went into a metaphysical store locally and I found these. And I picked these up, and I have been using these pretty regularly for readings for myself and for other people, because I think these Oracle cards, let's just say I am so in tune with these cards. They give me everything I need to know. They tell me even stuff I don't know, but it hits every time. These cards are so just blunt. The messages I get, I love using this because I get the truth, just straight truth. It doesn't, no filter. These cards don't, disappoint when I need to get to the nitty gritty. So I definitely use these actually in quite a few readings that I do. Love these cards. Stand out for sure, and will probably stay a standout for me. Speaking of standout cards, Oracle cards. Moonology Oracle cards. I use these literally every moon phase. It feels like I just did, but I know I did at some point did a whole review of my tarot and Oracle cards, but these are a mainstay. I love these cards. I can't speak enough about them. Let me tell you something. These are getting used every moon cycle. Here's the front. Here's how some of the cards look. The artwork is absolutely gorgeous. These are used regularly. I use this for myself and for my coven. This is awesome. Every moon cycle or ritual that we do, I'm pulling out these cards for us to use and get a very positive reading. Usually, the cards are typically very positive. And when there's no negative cards, but they're cards that kind of make you focus and direct your attention to other things. So, like, okay, well, maybe you need to start doing this or doing that. It's not so much like a negative thing. And that's what I like, because you're already vulnerable, you're open during a lot of these like new moon and full moon rituals that some of us are doing. I assume you're doing one because I am. So you're already leaving yourself open to the moon's energy and whoever you're working with. The last thing you need is the cards you're working with to just give you, like, I need you to tell me the truth. I need you to share the knowledge with me. However, it can't come in a way that I'm now, my mind is elsewhere instead of actually trying to fix it. Just tell me what you want me to fix. And I think those cards, the Moonology, not fix, but focus on this, focus on that. Or they'll tell you something, now's the time to, be this way or be that way. Anyway, I love those cards. More cards. Stand out 2021. Boom. Best decision I ever made. And I'd have to thank for even getting both of these was one person in particular. She goes by Pink. Anyway, if you see this, yeah, thank you. I appreciate it because these have been beneficial. Also, I've used these in readings for other people and for myself as well. Beautiful decks. This is a beautiful deck. I love the packaging, the box. Look at this. Wait, look at this. Isn't that cool? Love it. Here's the box here. Hardback book. So the cards are pretty colorful and gorgeous. I love that teal. And then, just beautiful color. Just beautiful color. So I love that. And the book itself is really, it's not color or anything, but I got to put my glasses on to read it. That would be my only complaint sometimes. Or if I don't have them, I got to kind of look really close. And I like to do my readings usually when it's not so light. Like, I like the lighting to be dim. My complaint would be if I'm trying to reference the book to make sure I understand what this deck's meaning or intention is for the meanings for the cards, is that I struggle sometimes with what, reading it. My only complaint, but love these cards. I love the messagings that I've received from those cards. And the journal. I use this journal all the time. Whenever I do, I don't want to show you too much because I actually have readings in here for myself and for others, but I got stuff in here in the readings that I create. Let me show you a blank page so you could see. Yeah. So, like, I would take something like this and, draw my like boxes for cards over here, and then put the interpretation over here. I put, who I did a reading for, when, and all that sort of stuff, which type of spread you use. It's the basic, tarot type journal. You would expect the same headings and things like that. But I love using this, like I said, when I do readings for other people. Matter of fact, if I ever ran out of space, I would just buy another one, and that would become volume 2. I would probably put a label or something, volume 2, in the year or something like that, because I would just keep using this for my readings. And since in 2022, that's going to be a bigger part of me actually for the first time really monetizing readings. I've been doing readings all this time for people, by the way, and not just family, but that's another story. Stay tuned, I'm coming with that. It's at the top of the year. But anyway, I love this, and I love keeping information in here. This is one of the best things one of the better reviews that I did. I'm so happy I got this. Okay, so next is actually a book, but it was on my Kindle. I was looking for the book, why can't I find this book? Rebel Witch. Let me do this so the lighting is, sorry. Yeah, let me put it back here. Rebel Witch, look at that. This book is everything. Also, another YouTuber here, Kellyanne Maddox. If you watch my channel, I'm sure you know about her book that she came out. Carve the Craft, That's Yours Alone. Adore this book. I love this book. Great standout for 2021. The book itself, by the way, is excellent. Let's just be clear. However, I think for me, knowing that Kellyanne just grew she grew her YouTube channel over some time. She's in the UK, by the way. And she came out with this book, and it's like hitting, I don't know, I feel like she's basically helping you discover your path in witchcraft. That's basically the synopsis of the book. She's basically walking you through that step by step, chapter by chapter. But at the same time, you don't have to conform. You don't have to do it the way I do it, the way somebody else does it. And even the way she does it, that's basically what she's reminding you. But she's giving you details and helpful information on how to go about doing this. The challenges of being a rebel witch, coming out of the broom closet, making it your own. Why witchcraft? Like, it's definitely something I would suggest getting. It's a really great book. I can't speak enough about this book. I love it. So if you have not already purchased this book, maybe get into it or read it. Maybe somebody can give you a copy. I don't know. But I think you should definitely read this book. I'm trying to find the other one. Yeah, here we go. The other book, same thing that was on here. The Witch's Path. Thorn Mooney, who, by the way, fun fact, I still haven't got a chance. I think I saw one of her YouTube videos because I wanted to go see what people were talking about. But yeah, this is her book that she came out with also this year, The Witch's Path, Advancing Your Craft at Every Level. Another book. Actually, this book resonated with me even more. Rebel Witch, of course, because I just love it. But this one resonated with me even more because I realized that the author reminds me a lot of myself with as far as her views and the way she expresses things. And I felt like she was speaking directly to me as I read it. Now, other people, when I reviewed this book, said that's similar to how it is with her YouTube channel. I feel like she's, straight to the point. It's not a really long book, but it's actually very thorough, in my opinion. And I like when at one point in the book and it stood out to me, where she said something, I'm paraphrasing, something to the effect of, well, you read all these witchy books, books on witchcraft, and almost all witchcraft books give you some sort of ritual, spell, or something to follow as you read the books, right? And she basically was calling out that if you don't read the book as intended by the author, are you really getting what you need out of that book? And I am guilty of that. I'm somebody, I'll be honest, I'll read right through and I'll keep saying, no, I'll go back and do it. I'll go back and do it. And I don't always go back and do it. And I hate that. But I know I'm not alone. You're like, oh, this is going to be really nice. And you keep thinking you'll read it first and then you'll go back, where if you really approach it the way the author intended, her point was that you would get more out of these witchcraft books. A lot of us devour witchcraft books, and maybe we're not getting what we really need. So part of one of my goals for 2022 is that when I do read my witchcraft books, if they are resonating with me, if they're if I really feel like these books, I don't know, it's clicking, something's clicking, and I was like, ooh, I'm gonna follow those things, the rituals, the spells, or whatever else that they have in them. I'm gonna actually go through the process that they usually have at the end of the chapter, the journaling, whatever it is, and immerse myself as the author intended, because I would hope that you would do that if other people would do that when I put my content out. So there you go. So that was the other standout book that happened to be Kindle on my Kindle that I have. Also for 2022, I'm going to start doing more fiction as well for witchy book reviews. I look forward to doing that because I read a lot of witchy books that are fiction. I just haven't been sharing, but I think what I'll do so you guys can kind of be a part of it. I was thinking about maybe at the top of the month giving a heads up, hey, these are the witchy books, or the witchy book for the month. I don't know, I'll figure it out. That we'll read, that I'll read. That way you'll have an idea. It won't be a lot of spoilers. I wouldn't try to spoil it for those who didn't read it, but I'm thinking something along those lines to kind of pull you guys in. We'll see. I got time to work it out. It's only December 21st. Happy Yule, by the way. Okay. Another book, and I got book. You see, I got little book things in here to keep me paid. What do you call bookmarks? They keep me where I need to be because I like this book so much. I gave this. It's 2 reviews: the initial when I bought it, and then the actual review where I spent time really giving this book justice. Also, another YouTuber, Abiola Abrams. She's more than a YouTuber. She does a lot of other stuff, but she does have a YouTube channel as well. So let me tell you something. Sacred Rituals for Self-Love, Prosperity, and Joy. You can build a practice on this. If you are like, what do I do? This is one of those books when she tells you to get the journals, get the books, and do the little rituals. They're not little, but do the rituals at the end of the sections and chapters. Do it. This is the one I started and didn't finish because I said, I'll just come back. I just want to finish reading it. Worst mistake I did. So now I'm backtracking with this one. But definitely stand out. This was good. This is life affirming. Like the amount of work that she put into this book to give us all these different figures and goddesses from over history, over time, I should say. So that then she gives you the explanation of who they are, why this person, why is she talking about this person? She explains that, breaks that down. Then she goes into how it basically matters to you and what to take from the goddess that she's mentioning. Each chapter section is about a different goddess. So she'll tell you that, she'll talk that through, and you're like, wow, like she goes so deep into it. And then she gives you a ritual for you to connect even further. And these rituals are not like, they're not weak, for lack of better words. They're very robust rituals. Prime example, your betrayal healing ritual, clearing life clutter. And she gives a ritual for that where it's very natural ingredients for the most part, but like a coconut, holy water or milk of your choice, cleaning tools and products. And she tells you what to do. There's a part 1, like clear the energy, clear life clutter, and she gets into that. So it's beautiful, and the illustrations that happen in the book are actually really pretty as well. It's just black and white, but I love it. And the messages, everything is just so beautiful, and it feels almost like it feels very sacred. I'm not gonna lie. This book was so I was so in my feelings about this book. I sent a copy to someone else I know. I was like, here, you need this. I've been telling other people to get this. I know quite a few people who have already gotten it. And to me, this book is like, I don't know, it's a standout. It's really important, I think, for women of color. I am a woman of color. So anyway, I think this is a really awesome book to have. And it's a standout for that reason. So, on to the next. A more recent one, but 1001 Tarot Spreads. Got this at Barnes. I'm pretty sure I got this at Barnes & Noble. I think. Did I? I don't know. I think I did. Anyway, but the point is, this is a goodie. This is what you want for us readers or people who just, if you want to get better at reading. And this, you need help sometimes with understanding, well, what spread do I use? They have the most random spreads in here. If you want to leave the frantic dash of life city and live off the grid in wilderness, this is the spread right here. This is the spread you would do. If to connect with a birth parent or child for the first time after many years of being separated, there you go. Just stuff, life stuff, just just all kinds of stuff in here. A late summer or early fall, autumn Luna sod spread if you're always the giving one in the family. Like, it's a long list. A Scandinavian midsummer spread. If you have been dating someone for years but they are happy living alone. I'm just, I don't remember reading that one before, but okay, yeah, but this is the kind of stuff that's in here. Spreads for celebrations. If you are a female couple and want children, you didn't see that coming. You don't see these coming. You don't see any of these coming. Get this book. This is a standout. This will help. Even if you don't use it exactly each one of the spreads, this will kind of help you. If you want to win a TV talent show, if you want, that's the spread. What should you do to get through to the finals of a major talent contest? Like, come on, that's perfect. You need this in your life. Is this infatuation or the real thing? Should you invest in a training course to improve your future? See, this is the kind of stuff I need. This is what I need in my life. This is why this is a standout for 2021 in my Witchy review. This is something you want to add. And then, of course, all of us can take the time and build out tarot spreads, and we can create a tarot journal, which is a fun project. It sounds like already in my head, but you can do that and create your own that makes sense to you. And I totally support that, and I understand that. And I would advocate doing that. And hey, I might even try something like that. But in the meantime, I will refer to this book because it's all right there for me. Okay, almost done. So the next one, which is a recent one, I did get this from Barnes & Noble, The Modern Witch's Journal, Chart Your Magical Journey into Hidden Wisdom. Why is this a standout book? Because I relate to workbooks. And this book is made for you to write. I haven't actually done anything with it yet, but it's on my mind a lot because I keep saying, oh, you gotta do it, you gotta do it. Spells for relationships. When I got this book, I love this so much because I like that I can write in here. This is actually helpful for me with building further out into 2022 with business stuff, candle magic, spells and things like that. So I wouldn't put a lot of detail. We just kind of put simple information in here to refer to. But anyway, love this book. This is a standout because it actually is sweet, it's short, but it has a lot of space for me to write the things that I actually want to record. It's like a book of shadows type things. Yes, I write this in my my book of shadows and my grimoire, but it's something about working in this book and it's guided, so it kind of keeps me, focused on that one thing. Sometimes when I'm working in my book of shadows or my grimoire, I'm looking at a blank page and I get excited about it because I get to fill it up, but at the same time, it can feel a little overwhelming, especially if I just kind of want to record a little bit of something and I have all this page and I feel like, oh, this doesn't, I'm filling up the page with, nonsense. I feel like stuff that really doesn't matter because the blank page is kind of bothering me a little bit. I don't know. But this is all condensed, so I would just write down what I had to write down. And there we go. Okay, so almost done. This was featured early on. This is actually an Amazon purchase, and let me tell you something. It's got a felt bottom. This actually has a little bit of weight to it. This is a goddess statue. I took this off my current altar that I use to a specific goddess that I'm working with, and I'm so grateful to have found this, and I got this because it makes sense to use with her. So yeah, a standout because I didn't know before it was just decorative, but now it's I put this on her altar and it stays at which is on my altar, I call it my working altar, if that makes sense. You have different altars, you know that, right? Y'all know what I'm talking about. Where I have a working altar that's over here, and then I have my ancestor altar, and I have other altars throughout the house that might not appear so if you're looking, but that's what it is. It might just look like some, a cute little decorative scene or something, but it's actually an altar. Anyway, but this stays on my working altar where I have an altar on the working altar to this specific goddess that I work with. But anyway, a standout, and this is so pretty, right? So pretty. Definitely worth the purchase at the time. Okay, now the other thing, in one of the recent goddess provision boxes, and I'm pretty sure I did a review on it, or I talked about the box, and if I didn't, I'm sorry, but I just want to talk about it now. They sent this oil, and it's basically this is like a rubbing oil, like it's a scent, and it's new moon, heathen moon, excuse me, it's for new moon, it says new moon, heathen moon, but anyway, it's a fragrance. So let me tell you something. Oh my god, it's like a lot of lemony, herby goodness. Oh, my arm is dry. Anyway, my skin feels dry. This lotion, it's not too dry, but it's dry. Should put some on my little this on. There we go. Okay, there we go. But anyway, it's a standout because it smells absolutely clean, crisp, what you kind of envision new moon, where it's kind of a start over, fresh. So you get a lot of fresh scents from the essential oils. That's why I like it so much. And it kind of, I mentioned this before on this channel, when I want to do a cleansing of like my area or space, I like to use citrus scents. Anything citrus, I like to, citrus incense along those lines. Actual citrus itself, oils, lemon, orange, whatever. Lemongrass along those lines as well. But I like to use those for clearing and cleansing and all that sort of stuff. So wearing this to me is represents like a fresh start. Whether it's in the beginning of the morning, you kind of set the tone for your day. You can put this on with an intention. I've charged this, by the way, with Moon's energy because I like it so much. So that's something I'm so happy that they sent that. And it wasn't in the latest box. I think it was in the box before that. So the last review item, and then I'm going to get into actually something new, was Seasons of the Witch Yule Oracle, which is apropos being, that it is Yule, and we are in this time. So this is something that I have not done a full reading for myself, like just sitting here with a reading with these cards yet. But I talked about this, and I know some people said that the gilding kind of went away, but the cards are actually very beautiful. I just want to point that out. Why is this a standout? Because it just makes sense right now for me to use these cards. So I like the green. God, I hope this doesn't chip away, because honestly, it's one of the things. Look at the green. Look how it pops. The gilding on the side. I love that. I love that. Anyway, here's the book that came with it, and it's color. I love that. I love the imagery. It's pretty. It's so pretty. And they're talking about Seasons of the Witch Beltane Oracle. So that's next. I probably will collect them all, because I'm a bit of a collector, I realize. Whether I want to admit it to myself, I am. But anyway, last page, ceremonial. Look how pretty it is. So this is a standout because to me the artwork is absolutely stunning. I have a lot of oracle cards, a lot of decks, and they're all beautiful. So if I haven't featured anything else, it doesn't mean I didn't like them. It just basically means I kind of wanted to focus on the things that were unique or had some sort of special meaning, or they resonated in a way that the other things I've reviewed did not. So yeah, I like this. So the first card is, I just pulled a card. Frost, right? Ice cold melting in time, a frozen glance at what lies behind, what lies ahead, what lies within, and the chilling frost of thy undead. Oh, you didn't realize there was poetry there? Yeah. Not the biggest poetry person. I'm someone who I gotta think about it. When I read, I'm like, because I'm so blunt. I'm typical sun sign Aries. I'm very blunt, very direct. So I think that's why I struggle with poetry, because it's not always direct. There's some other underlining meaning there. By the way, this was also a stumbling block for me in witchcraft. I have to fight my way through sometimes understanding what signs and symbols mean, dream interpretations, even divination practices that I use in getting to, I'm somebody who's like the larger meaning person versus trying to get into the nuance of, well, it could be this or it could be that. That makes me a little crazy doing that. And I feel like I'm getting more questions than answers. And then you draw more cards. And then after a while, you end up in a space where nothing makes sense anymore. On the flip side, I think it's helpful because I can focus in. I'm very goal-centered. So if I come into this reading and I'm asking a question, I get my answers. And if I feel like I need more clarification, I'll pull a card or two for clarification. But I feel like sometimes I connect a little bit better. Also, big picture, like thinking big picture when it comes to my spells and rituals, and ultimately, how do you want this to flow? How do you want to see this out? Because I get so passionate about new projects, full Aries here, because like it's starting something new, and I put all that energy into a spell. And I really believe that's one of the things that actually helps me. So it's two sides of the same coin. Sometimes not so great, sometimes really good. But about this card, Frost, I just want to kind of give you an idea of what I like about this so much. Keywords, divination, signs. I just shuffled this and we're talking about this, right? See how things... Winter offers a multitude of ways to practice divination. Puddles, frozen lakes, and icicles are excellent surfaces for scrying and finding answers to your most burning questions. However, frost isn't the only place to look for signs. There are subtle clues everywhere for those who are in tune with the universe. Prime example. I didn't make this up because this is perfect for what I'm talking about. One of the ways that I learned to get more in tune with the universe was to start trusting myself, really understanding my intuition, really tapping into that, learning to differentiate between fear, just that the conscious part of myself, the forefront, my overall thoughts versus that other part of yourself, your intuition, your higher self. That isn't so tied to emotions as much. It just kind of is what it is. Learning to trust that part of myself helped in more ways than one. One, I realized this is when you stop pulling the cards. Just that it's not loud. It's not a voice that's loud in my head, but it's like just a knowing. Y'all witches know what I'm talking about. It's just a knowing. That's enough cards. You only need this. You need this spread. Like, I just know what to do. And I trust it. I trust that I'm right. I don't second guess myself. Frost has come to your spread to let you know that the signs you've been looking for are all around you. You're guided to have more awareness and to trust in your ability to read signs. I was shuffling. Y'all saw me. I was on camera and I just stopped at this card. I do not have these cards memorized to know the meaning of this card. Just to be clear, I don't have these memorized because I recently did a review on these. I don't work that fast, trust me. Everyone is capable of being guided by their inner spirit, but you block those capabilities when you doubt little pings of wisdoms that occur. You watching real magic happening. You're watching real witchcraft. This is how it works. Y'all, we're here together. You're watching this. I just did this reading. I'm talking about this card. I'm talking about this ahead of time. It's tying into literally what I'm saying. This is how it works. This is for you when you're sitting down by yourself. This is kind of how it should start to feel. These cards should make sense. There are times you pull cards, and if it doesn't make sense, I reshuffle. If I feel like this, I'm like, wait, I was too anxious to pick out the cards. I realized that. Okay, let me start over. Then it goes on. If you see a butterfly and believe it to be a sign, then it is. Somebody needs this message. The same goes for colors or words you hear throughout the day. Don't discredit yourself by ignoring things that feel like a confirmation to you. They may seem silly to others, and that's okay. You're an illuminated soul and are guided by a force that transcends a lack of faith. I received this message. Hopefully you received this as well. I think this is fitting for what I was talking about. And you know what? Maybe I needed this message myself. Maybe I need, because I just told you, I used to think my bluntness and my kind of straightforward approach was a weakness, but this helps. This was helpful getting that message. I'm like, I don't know, I kind of got the chills for a second because this was so right on where I was thinking in my mind about all this. So, whew. I love when, by the way, those moments happen. Synchronicity, by the way. If you were wondering what that was, that's what that looks like. So, I love when I have moments of synchronicity, and I love it even more if I can sort of capture it, like I just did, because this is proof for even me. I can look at this video and be like, yeah, I remember when that happened. Not that I would forget, but this is a standout because seasonally it's appropriate, and it's something clearly I needed to. These cards are very telling as well. So part of my ritual that I'll be doing a little later on is these cards are part of it. So anyway, that was just a little something nice, but that makes me feel really good to have gotten that message. That means I'm in tune with these cards. I've left these in around my working altar. For a while they were just on my altar, and I blessed the cards. So this is really awesome. So yes, those. Now on to a new deck. I just got these, and this is a funny story. Most of the people that I know have these cards that I might do readings with and share things with. They already have this, and I kept forgetting to order it. But this is the moon. Now remember, there's the Moonology cards I talked about before by Yasmin Bolin. But these are the Manifestation Oracle cards. Let me open it. Beautiful boxing. I love this. I'm a sucker for packaging. Attune to the moon and manifest miracles. Also cards that, one, I'll use for myself, but also use them in readings for others for sure. But look at that. Look how the light catches it. Isn't that pretty? And here's the other side. Just some of the cards. New Moon and Aries. Go for it, because why wouldn't you? I just full moon in Aries. Cool your emotions. Let me show you a couple in case you were curious. Make time for self-love. So this is a newer purchase. This is not part of the review. But I wanted to just share. I just got these cards. So here's the book. It's not color. Wonk wonk. But it is still, ready to go with information. So that full moon and Aries cards that I pulled where it says cool your emotions, I just opened it up to that section. And it'll say manifesting balance. Seek a balance between you, and me. Manifesting mindset. And it says there's no point in pretending that you don't have intense feelings, as this blocks your manifesting powers. You need to work through your feelings by thinking of the people involved or forgiving yourself. That's a message. Manifesting ritual for releasing fiery feelings. And they break that down. Then there's a section, your manifestation affirmation. You would say, out of this, only good will come. Love that. And when to manifest your magic. They give you that time. The best time to work your magic is when the moon is in Aries on a Tuesday, Mars Day, or during Mars hour. And they say, see, page 16. Let's see what that is. Now I'm curious. I just got this like Friday. Yeah, Friday. Planetary hours. What? So work the planet, turn that. Oh, you want me to do math? No, ma'am. I can get a print out of that. But anyway, this is I don't know about all that, but I do enjoy the deck. I like the deck. So this is a newer thing, and hopefully, this will be part of my standout reviews. Well, I'm doing it now, but I might talk about it again in 2022. But anyway, yeah, so there's this one as well. Love this. So I think, yeah, that was all of it. So that was a lot of stuff, right? But I was doing the standout things throughout the year. I'm sure there are things that maybe I probably, use. So it's hard for me to take, because I've used them, I could consume them and spell work and things like that. So I can't really, bring those things out. I'm just looking over here, like all the different crystals and things like that I've purchased. I use those. They are charging. I got so much stuff I got going on here. Things I picked up at the Dollar Tree. I've used those in spells. And some of them are in a cabinet waiting to be used in spells. So there's that. Let me think. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So all those things I'm pretty much using. I was looking around like, was there something else I wanted to talk about? I'm sure there is, and I'll remember after all this. But those are the things I pulled out off the shelf and, off my altar that I just wanted to share. But yeah, those things have definitely stood out. Those are pretty significant items for me for 2021. And I love doing reflective type work like this. This is very cleansing for me. It's beneficial as part of my practice, my spirituality, because one, it gets me actively involved with those things that I purchase. And I feel grateful, one, that I was able to purchase them, that I was able to use them and to share them to help somebody else who maybe needed to know if that was worth purchasing or not, or worth reading or using, or whatever the item was. And this is the perfect time of year to do that. It's the winter solstice. To me, it's a time to kind of, go within a little bit and start doing that reconciling at the end of the year on, what to keep, what to give away, what are you grateful for, so you can start to make plans for the next season. And for me, that's what I'm doing right now. I'm doing a lot of reconciling and planning at the same time. But I love that. I love this time of year where you're sort of recapping and looking ahead. It's like to me, it's like you're at the edge of a cliff and you're making sure, you got your backpack, you got all your stuff, everything that you needed to take with you, up this journey, and you're sort of at the end, you're at the edge of the cliff, and now it's time to take that leap. Yes, I'm intentionally saying that, take that leap into the unknown, because we don't really know what 2022 will offer us exactly. We can do readings, which I'll be doing. We can do readings. We can, use divination. We could do anything we want to basically try to understand our place in the world during that time. For some people, readers, they don't just look from a personal point of view, they look at the world in general. I love that type of reading, by the way, where they're just telling you about events to come. And, you can do all that, but there's still the aspect of, well, where do you fit in? So don't get lost, by the way. My suggestion, when you're doing your readings for 2022, if you are, don't get too lost in these big events that your cards might tell you. You might have death, marriage, or, other type of big events that occur, good or bad, Just try to remember the focus is on where are you in the situation, not so much about the situations, because that can change. I don't know if you guys can hear on the other end. It's like a loud sound. Probably. Forgive me. It's my neighbor. Anyway, because this seems pretty loud to me. Hopefully the microphone is canceling out because it's like vibrating. He does stuff with cars and it's just so loud. His garage is on the other side of this wall. But anyway, so, just try to remember your place. Where do you fit into all this, as opposed to just the event itself? Because for some of us who deal with anxiety, it can kind of mess with you a little bit, because you start to almost dread the readings. And because some of us are going to do readings and it won't all be, pretty. It won't be so nice. So maybe some of the messaging, it sounds very ominous. I've been there. How to handle that when you do those types of readings is basically remember Where are you? You're getting a preview of these potentially ominous things. So how I would take it is, well, what do I need to do? I'm pulling clarifying cards. What do I need to do to protect myself? What do I need to do to stay balanced through this? Some things are just unavoidable. We might be going through stuff, you know? You don't know. So I would focus more on protection, healing, and balance if you get these types of readings. Because even in a chaotic situation in, let's say, 2022, whatever you got that reading for, it happens, whatever the event is. As someone who has had some serious events occur in 2021, even in the midst of the chaos of this other issue that wasn't great, it wasn't good at all, there were blessings, there were positive things trickling throughout. So I can't look at that whole time and say, oh, it sucked. By the way, don't do that if you do. There were some other things at play. Positive, really good things happening. Abundance, prosperity magic was working. I was receiving more from that. I grew so much within my spirituality and witchcraft while I was going through negative experiences, you know? So hopefully this helps you. I just want to warn you not to get kind of wrapped up and scared about situations if your readings seem, you know, not positive. Because just because they come off that way doesn't mean it's the end for you. It's curtains, it's game over, and you know, you'll never recover. Within the midst of that, you can have positive things happening in a negative situation. I'm living proof. So that can happen. Yeah, so anyway, that is pretty much all that I had. No one is chatting back, so I guess a lot of you probably will catch this on a replay. Please leave in the comments. Let me know if you have a favorite thing that you reviewed. I know some of you have suggested things for me to read, and this is a perfect time for 2021 books, things like that. The ones who have, I got you. I'll see you in 2022 with some of the stuff that you recommended I review. But for everyone else, please, I'd love for you to tell me in the comments, what do you want me to review in 2022? Books, movies, TV shows, products, another, you know, if it's candles, things like that. I got some fun stuff coming up, so I'm really open with this. Let me know, you know, if there's, you know, a kit or something that you saw on Etsy and you were curious, is it worth buying this? As long as it's not crazy expensive, yeah, I'll probably buy it. I'll probably look into it because I get caught. I told you, I'm realizing I'm a bit of a collector. I don't see anything wrong with it. It's a problem if I can't keep up with it, but I can keep up with it right now, so it's okay. But let me know in the comments. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. But let me know in the comments, please, suggestions for going forward for Witchy review. And I think I'll end it here because it's just getting louder on my side. So I think I'll just stop here. Thank you so much for watching. Blessed Yule, Happy Yule, Merry Christmas, and Happy New Year. The next time you won't see me, but you'll see my hands and hear my voice, will be in my planner setup videos and plan with me's that will come out in a few days. So look forward to that. I did a planner lineup, so I've sort of customized my planners and start getting them set up for January. So I'll share that with you, including my Witchy planner and all my inserts. I'll be sharing all that sort of stuff. So please look for that video. But I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to move on because it's Yule and this is a quiet reflection time for me. So that means I'm not talking as much. But I wanted to do this. All right, I'm out of here. Thanks so much again for watching. I really appreciate everyone. Thank you for supporting my channel. Thank you for finally getting me to the threshold. I finally got over 1,000 subscribers. Woohoo! 2022, I can't wait to grow the channel even more. And like I said before, I'm going to have other actual services, but I'll make a grand announcement about that at the top of the year. The other thing I just want to point out is that this has been a wonderful place for me to share, also to learn, because people put things in comments that have been beneficial to me, by the way, or make me think about things differently. It's also brought different people across my path, and a lot of us gather over in a safe place for witches. Check the description. That's a free space to come hang out and just talk, as long as you know, act right. You can stay. If you don't, I've only had to remove one person since this thing has been in existence, so it's real chill over there. But I encourage discourse and communication, sharing things and all that sort of stuff. Just don't go promoting yourself over there. But otherwise, come on in. All right, but I'm out because it just literally got louder. All right. Thank you so much for watching.